I think if you're not a parent, you don't understand the emotional journey of thinking that your child, is it going to be safe? Is it going to be, who's going to take care of your child when something happens to you? To be on that journey, even the short while we have been on it, which is 2 years, it seems like a lifetime. And so now that we have found Dr. Melillo and the Melillo method, and we've seen the changes, most importantly in Declan, we know we have to give back. I'm Boyle, and I'm an HR manager for a pediatric company based out of South Florida. I work with lots of doctors of all different specialties, so neonatologists, pediatric cardiologists, developmental pediatricians, pediatric neurologists, and many others as well. So my son Declan is 4.5, and we started noticing signs probably, he never developed vocabulary, he never developed a robust words, he had basically one. And during the pandemic, we never really noticed that he was having a regression because we weren't around other people. And so we didn't realize from a in social settings that he had regressed. And so once we started noticing this, we immediately brought on OT, speech. We also had him diagnosed and saw a developmental pediatrician at MUSC in Charleston, where we live. And he did get a diagnosis of autism. And that really sent us on this journey to find the right course of treatment for him. And I'm going to cry because it's a super emotional journey. So we have done everything with him, between speech, OT, early intervention. Really didn't see any changes, and my husband and I were always searching for more because we knew he was in there, because he was very interactive with us at one point. I look back through pictures and he was always smiling and saying cheese and doing all these things, and then again, I think with the pandemic we really didn't realize he had lost some of that. And so anyhow, once we had our diagnosis, we started really down this path of searching and searching for the right fit, which led us to do MERT therapy, which is magnetic e-resonance technology, where we moved to Miami actually for 8 weeks. Declan and I did. I think I was 6 or 7 months pregnant at the time, but we found it and we were like, we're doing this. And we did see a little bit of improvement. We saw a little bit of improvement in his eye contact and engagement. We came home, immersed him in ABA therapy, which was the recommendation based on from our developmental pediatrician. And we just always felt like it wasn't, we wanted more out of Declan. We knew he could do more, we just didn't know what it was or how to get there. And so I happened to be listening to a podcast, and Dr. Melillo was the guest, and it changed our lives. And so I was on a plane, I was in the middle seat between two strangers, and I'm crying listening to this, and he's really talking about Declan. And so I sent it to my husband. I just said, please listen to this before you come home tonight. We need to talk about it. And he walked through the door and he said, I said, so what did you think of the podcast? And he said, wow, it was like they were talking about Declan. And I said, I know, right? And so immediately we got on the phone, we scheduled our 1-hour Zoom call with Dr. Melillo. We learned that we could do intensive weeks here. This was, I think, February, and by April we were here for our first intensive. It's now June and we're back for 2 weeks. I already have scheduled out for September, December, and March, because we just see changes in Declan like we have never seen. This is the first time we know that he will function in society at some point. He will talk. We believe it. And if you had asked me before coming here if that would have happened, I would have absolutely said no. I don't think so. And you know, we just want to give him all the tools to be happy, safe, independent, and we're doing that by being here. Probably the biggest thing we see is just his interaction, his interest in us, his interest in, like, he threw a ball for the first time the other day, and we all went crazy, including my 10-year-old, because we know that's a huge thing for Declan. He never picked up a ball, he never had interest in toys, and to see that developing is amazing. His words are starting to come. We said, my husband and I said, for the first time, we see an interest in his desire to respond verbally, which we've never seen before. You know, we always felt like, my husband and I felt like we met his needs, but we never knew how he really felt. And we're seeing that he's showing us things. He's saying certain small, short words. He's really, really trying to form those words. He's making lots of sounds. And I have a 10-year-old and a 1-year-old, and his desire to interact with them is also like we have never seen. And my 10-year-old also believes for the first time, because this journey has been hard for him too, because he doesn't have the typical brother relationship with Declan, but we know that's coming because we see it. Declan seeks out my other 2 children. When they come into a room or sit down next to him, he doesn't get up and walk away, which he used to do. There's just so much more behind his eyes, and there's a person there. And we know that he will become and is becoming a contributing member of our family. He's always been so incredibly important, but he's always kind of just been there. He hasn't shared things, he hasn't been able to do things or have interest in that. And now he's grabbing my 10-year-old's hand and leading him to different things that he wants help with. And it's so exciting to see. We've been on this journey for 2 years, and I think if I had only known then what I know now, it would have come right here. I think you just never giving up, always searching, never being okay with just being okay, and always wanting more. Pushing is really, really hard, but this is the first place we have come where when Declan has been crying his first day, when he, you know, Tim is having to hold him down for treatment, that is obviously so hard. But that's, as you said, that's when we see the change, and that's what we have to go through. We have to walk through that darkness to get to the good stuff. And the best advice Jesse gave me was don't stop doing your home treatment. Push through, even when he's fussy, even when he's crying, even when he's fighting, because that's when the change is happening. And we have just seen such change that I'm a believer, and I want to make sure that my husband and I do our part to get the message out there that there is so much more, and we know that he will be independent one day. I don't think, if you're not a parent, you don't understand the emotional journey of thinking that your child, is it going to be safe? Is it going to be, who's going to take care of your child when something happens to you? And so to be on that journey, even the short while we have been on it, which is 2 years, it seems like a lifetime. And so now that we have found Dr. Melillo and the Melillo method, and we've seen the changes, most importantly in Declan, we know we have to give back. And that's just kind of the start of this conversation of, well, what does that look like? And another mom and I that I met here, we've become almost like best friends, like we've known each other because we walk this journey together, and nobody gets it like another autism mom. And so we're talking every day, and we always say this will come to us, but you know, our goal is we have found help for our children, which as a mom, that's all you want. But there's so much more to do with it. And so it's just thinking about that and praying about that and knowing it will come, but just really being open to that.
Okay, beautiful.
I mean, that's the truth. It's like, yeah. I don't think moms get it. If other parents don't get, even my sister, who I'm so close with and has given me such great advice, like, she doesn't walk this journey. Our developmental pediatrician said, oh, well, why are you here? I thought I was supposed to take him annually. And she's like, I really just do medication management. And it's like, but he's 4 and he doesn't need medication. Like, right. But you're supposed to be my resource for autism? Like, that's scary. And so I think that's also why we as moms then have to step up and do our part when we find something that does work. That's our goal.
That was
Oh
beautiful.
my God, you're my hero. And I mean, I had him treat with a chiropractor, and that chiropractor said to me on day 1, I'll have him talking in 4 months. And you know, as a mom who all I want to hear is my son talk, to hear him say, I believed that. Like, I was all in because I just wanted to believe it.
Right.
And now knowing what I know, and you know, people around me didn't want to be like, that's nonsense, because they knew that I was all in on it, and I just because I just felt like I had to be. It's like, this actually does work, and there's huge changes in our kids. Like, we have to do something with that.
Right.
Not, you know, it's.
Well, this is the first step, just getting it out there like this. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh my God.
My pleasure. I'm anxious to